Do you believe that age is not a barrier to staying strong, sharp, and full of energy? Look around. You'll see people in their 70s and 80s still walking with purpose, still laughing, still choosing to live fully. And yet others struggle with fatigue, with illness, with a mind that forgets more than it remembers. So, what makes the difference? Is there a secret, not just to living longer, but to living better? Yes. And here's the best part. You can do it too. Dear friend, if you felt slower lately, if your energy dips in the afternoon, if your legs feel less steady than they used to, please hear this. You're not alone. And this is not the end of your story. At Timeless Wisdom, we believe aging is not a fading, but a deepening. It's the season to rediscover your strength, to awaken your clarity, to feel the joy that still lives inside you. And it doesn't start with magic. It begins with something quiet, like how you breathe, how you move, how you treat yourself each morning. There's no pill, no shortcut, but there are habits, golden habits, that can extend your life by 10 years or more. Not just years, good years. Years full of energy, of presence, of purpose, of you. You don't need a perfect body or a whole new life. Just small, gentle shifts, done with care, done with love, done one day at a time. In today's video, we'll explore 6 powerful habits that help older adults stay strong in body, clear in mind, and deeply connected to life. These are real habits, proven by science, made for real people. No prescriptions needed, just simple choices within reach. And I invite you to stay with me all the way through. Because habit 6, even doctors are surprised by what it does. And it might just be the habit that changes everything for you. So if you're ready for more strength, more peace, and more meaning, take a deep breath and let's begin. 1. Walking, a gentle ritual to wake your life up again. What if the best thing you could do for your health today didn't require money, strength, or equipment, but simply one small step? So many of us grew up believing that walking is something you do to stay in shape, a chore, a task, just another item to check off a list. But here's something we don't hear enough. Walking isn't something you have to do. It's something you get to do. It's a quiet celebration of being alive, a gentle reminder that your life still has rhythm, even if your days have slowed down. And maybe, just maybe, it's your body's way of saying to the world, I'm still here. I still choose to move forward. Dear friend, you might think walking is too simple to make a difference, but according to Harvard Medical School, walking regularly can reduce your risk of heart disease by up to 40%. It helps stabilize blood sugar, improve sleep, and even lift your mood. But that's not why we walk. We don't walk just because of the benefits. We walk because it helps us remember who we are and reconnect with the person we've always been. Let me tell you about Mr. Thomas. He's 82. He lives in a small town in Oregon. 2 years ago, he lost his wife. And slowly, he lost his rhythm. He stopped going to church, stopped calling friends. He would sit by the window for hours, watching the world move without him. Until one morning, he whispered to himself, I may not have much strength left, but I still have one step. He walked 5 steps to the gate, then 10, then once around the block. Now, he walks every morning. Same road, same sky, same warm thermos in hand. And one day he said to us, at first, I walked because I didn't want to fall apart. Now I walk because I remember what it feels like to be alive. You see, dear friend, when we walk, something sacred happens. It's not just your muscles moving. It's your breath deepening, your mind calming, your heart whispering, I still belong here. Even if you only walk inside your home, even if your knees ache and your steps are slow, every step is a sacred act of self-respect. You don't need to go far. You don't need to go fast. You just need to go with presence. Because walking is not a duty, not a burden. It is a ritual. It is a prayer. It is a way of saying, this life, it's still mine. This body, I still honor it. These legs, they've carried me through so much, and I still trust them to carry me one more step. If today your body feels tired, if your heart feels heavy, and you're unsure where to begin, start with one step. A small walk around your home, to the garden, or simply from your chair to the window, your hand resting gently on your chest. Let that step be your ritual. Let that step be your quiet answer to doubt. And if you're thinking right now, but I don't have the energy, that's okay. Even walking with your breath, sitting still, breathing deeply, can bring life back into your body. Because what matters is not the distance, it's the direction. And walking, no matter how small, will always carry your life forward. If this part of the video spoke to your heart, comment 1 below and tell us, where will your first step take you today? Because somewhere out there, another soul is reading your words and thinking, if they can take that step, maybe I can too. And now, dear friend, as your body begins to remember what gentle movement feels like, let's take the next step, this time into your kitchen. Because what you feed your body can be your fuel or your quiet burden. Let's explore that next. Eat to thrive, not just survive. 2. Nutrition. Eat to thrive, not just survive. You've probably heard this hundreds of times. As you get older, you need to eat less, watch your sugar, avoid salt, eat light. And for the most part, you've followed that advice. You don't eat like you did at 40. You try to cut back. You try to be smart about food. But even with right choices, something still doesn't feel right. You feel bloated. You crash in the middle of the morning. You forget little things. And deep down, you wonder, is this just what it feels like to get old? Dear friend, you are not alone. Many older adults believe that fatigue, fogginess, and digestion issues are simply a natural part of aging. But what if they're not? What if it's not just what we eat, but how we think about food that's quietly draining the life from us? Let's look at Margaret, 75. She thought she was doing okay. Toast and instant coffee in the morning, something light for lunch, a little soup in the evening. But every afternoon, she felt heavy, sluggish, disconnected. She'd forget where she left things and whisper to herself, I guess this is just how it is after 70. Until her granddaughter, a nutrition student, visited for a week. She looked at Margaret's plate and gently said, Grandma, your body is running on empty. You're feeding yourself, but not nourishing yourself. So Margaret made a few small changes. She added oats with chia seeds and berries to her breakfast, swapped canned soup for a bowl of homemade veggies, beans, and olive oil. She started drinking more water, not because she was thirsty, but because she knew that dehydration in older adults doesn't feel like thirst. It feels like tiredness. And after just 1 week, she felt sharper, lighter, more balanced. I didn't go on a diet, she said. I just started feeding myself the way I'd care for someone I love. Dear friend, this isn't about being perfect. It's about seeing food differently. It's not just about what you put in your mouth. It's about what happens once it's inside your body. Processed foods, white bread, sugary snacks, salty crackers, they steal your energy slowly. They inflame, they disrupt sleep, they confuse your brain. Whole foods, real vegetables, beans, nuts, fish, fruit, they nourish your cells, they reduce pain, they sharpen your thinking, they lift your mood. And water? It's not just water, it's brain oil, kidney support, digestive peace. And yes, you may be saying, but I'm not thirsty. Exactly, because at this age, your thirst signal fades. That's why you must drink water before you feel thirsty, like watering a plant that looks okay but hasn't seen rain in days. So let's reframe food. Don't eat to fill a space, eat to feed the light inside you. Every meal is a message. I still matter. I still want to feel strong. I still believe in my days. You don't need to change everything overnight. Maybe today, you add a handful of almonds. Tomorrow, you switch from white rice to brown. Next week, you roast your veggies in olive oil instead of microwaving a box. Small changes, big return. Just like every step you take, every bite you choose is part of a bigger story. A story where you're not just aging, you're nourishing your way back to life. If this part of the video reflects your experience, comment 2 below and share. What's one food upgrade you'll try this week? Just one. Because your change might become someone else's inspiration. And now, dear friend, you've nourished your body. You've begun to restore your strength. But what about your mind? In the next chapter, we'll explore how to keep your brain sharp, joyful, and awake, even after 70. 3. Mental strength, the daily brain tune-up. Take a quiet moment with me and ask yourself something we rarely say out loud. Is my mind still sharp? You walk into a room and forget why. You pause mid-sentence, searching for a word. You reread the same paragraph 3 times. And for just a second, something inside whispers, is this just aging or something worse? Dear friend, take a deep breath. You are not alone. This happens to millions of people after 65. And yes, it can feel scary. But beneath that fear is something quietly beautiful. Your mind isn't gone. It's simply waiting to be reawakened. We've been taught our whole lives that the brain fades with age, but research from the National Institute on Aging says otherwise. Your brain can still grow, still learn, still build new connections, even at 70, 80, or beyond. But just like your muscles, it needs movement, not physical, but mental, and not intensity, just intention. Let me tell you about Richard, 76. He used to be a history teacher, loved books, loved stories, but after retirement, his days blurred. He stopped reading, watched more TV, stopped engaging, and slowly his memory faded. One day, while sipping coffee at a local cafe, he overheard a group of seniors laughing over a crossword puzzle. One of them waved him over. He joined. That one puzzle became a weekly gathering, then a book club. Then, unexpectedly, he picked up the piano again, something he hadn't touched since college. "My fingers were slow," he said, "but my mind, it felt like someone had turned the lights back on." You see, your brain doesn't need magic. It just needs meaningful stimulation. And no, that doesn't mean hours of Sudoku, unless you love that sort of thing. It means reading something that challenges your thinking, having real conversations, not just small talk, learning something new, even something tiny, reflecting on your day instead of rushing through it. Every time you do that, your brain says, "Thank you, I'm still needed." Think of your mind as a garden. If you plant nothing, weeds grow. But with time, light, and curiosity, it can bloom again. And it's never too late. You don't need to memorize Shakespeare. You don't need to solve algebra. Try writing down a childhood memory. Learn a new word in another language. Watch a documentary and share your thoughts. Call a friend and ask, "What's something new you've learned lately?" You'd be surprised how alive your brain feels from just real joyful engagement. And here's something powerful. The mind doesn't grow stronger in isolation. It thrives in connection, with people, with stories, with questions, and with silence. So if today your mind feels slow, if you forgot something and scolded yourself, forgive it. Then feed it. Feed it a thought, a question, a laugh, a song, a puzzle, a conversation. Each of these small moments is a workout for your mind, not to fight aging, but to enjoy living. If this message speaks to you, comment 3 below and share. What's one small mental habit you'll try this week to keep your brain awake and alive? You don't need to fix your brain. You just need to reconnect with it. Now, dear friend, we've cared for your steps. We've nourished your meals. We've reawakened your thoughts. Next, let's talk about something just as essential, your strength. But not the strength of youth, the kind that says, "I still want to open the jar. I still want to carry my bag. I still want to rise with grace, not struggle." Coming up next, strength after 65, how to reclaim the power you thought you'd lost. 4. Strength, reclaiming the power you thought you lost. There's a quiet moment, isn't there? When you try to open a jar and can't. When you go to stand and need to try again. When your arm feels just a little too weak and you wonder, am I losing my strength? Dear friend, you're not imagining it. After age 50, we begin to lose 1 to 2% of muscle every year, a natural process called muscle loss. By the time we're 70, it adds up. But here's what most people don't realize. It doesn't have to stay that way. You can rebuild strength, you can restore function, and most importantly, you can regain confidence in your body again. Let me say that again, because maybe you haven't heard it enough in this world. You are still allowed to be strong, not young strong, not gym strong, but carry your own groceries strong, stand up without fear strong, move through your day with quiet confidence strong. Let's take a moment to meet Mrs. Elena, 81. After a fall in her kitchen, she was shaken. She began relying on her daughter for nearly everything, reaching for plates, carrying bags, even standing for more than 5 minutes. She said, "I didn't just lose strength, I lost my freedom." Until one day, her doctor recommended something gentle, light strength training. She started with wall push-ups, chair squats, lifting soup cans. At first, she felt humbled, but within 2 months, she could stand longer. Her balance returned, her posture improved, and most importantly, "I felt like I got me back," she said. You see, dear friend, your muscles don't know your age. They only know whether you're using them or not. And like any living thing, when you nourish them, when you move them, they respond. You don't need heavy weights. You don't need a gym. You just need consistency and kindness. Here's what strength training after 65 can look like. Chair squats. Sit down and stand up slowly, 10 times. Strengthens your legs and hips. Wall push-ups. Use your body weight to build your arms, shoulders, and core. Household weights. Water bottles or canned goods help improve grip and shoulder stability. Breath and posture. Standing tall and breathing deeply strengthens your core and resets your balance. Do what you can, not to punish your body, but to honor it. Because every time you move with purpose, your body hears you say, "I still believe in you." And maybe, just maybe, you'll believe it too. Strength isn't about lifting more, it's about living lighter. It's about moving through your day without fear, without feeling like a burden. And here's the most beautiful part. Strength doesn't come from muscle first. It comes from the decision to begin. Even if today you only do one wall push-up, even if you lift a small bottle 10 times, you're not declining, you're reclaiming. If this part of the video speaks to your body, comment 4 below and tell us, what's one small strength practice you want to try this week? Because your choice might just inspire someone else to rise too. Now that your body has begun to wake up, as your muscles remember their worth, let's turn to something just as essential, your connection. Because no matter how strong we are, we were never meant to walk this journey alone. 5. Consistency, the power of gentle routines after 65. We often think that change happens in big, dramatic ways. A new diet, a bold goal, a single breakthrough. But for most of us, especially after 65, transformation doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing one small thing, again and again. Dear friend, let me ask you, what's one thing you do every day that brings you peace? A slow cup of tea, a short morning walk, watering your plants while humming an old song? These aren't little things, they're anchors. In a world that moves faster than we'd like, gentle routines are how we hold on to ourselves. You might think routines are boring, rigid, a sign that life has lost its spark. But let me offer you a new perspective. Routines are not cages, they are cradles. They hold you. They give rhythm to your days. They bring you back to yourself when everything feels too loud, too uncertain. Let me tell you about Mr. James, 79. After retiring, his days began to blur. No alarm clocks, no meetings, no deadlines. He thought it would feel like freedom. Instead, it felt like drifting, without an anchor. There were days, he said, when I didn't know if it was Monday or Thursday. Then, he made one small shift. He started waking up at the same time each day. He brewed a cup of tea, sat by the same window, wrote 3 lines in a notebook, nothing deep, just, "Here's how I feel today." Then he read a few pages from a favorite book and began his day. 2 weeks in, he noticed something. He wasn't just remembering his days, he was living them again. "It was like my life started having shape again," he said. "Not busy, just clear." You see, dear friend, consistency creates safety. Safety creates calm, and calm opens the door to clarity, courage, even creativity. After 65, we don't need chaos, we need flow, and flow comes from rhythm. Rhythm comes from ritual, not fancy ones, not 12-step programs, just simple anchors in your day that quietly say, "I'm still here, I still choose how I live this day." Here are a few gentle habits that might nourish you. Morning moment. Before checking your phone, sit by a window, feel the light. Take 3 breaths, whisper a thank you, reading pause. 10 minutes with a book that feeds your mind, not just passes the time. Meal blessing. Before you eat, place a hand on your heart and say, "This food will make me stronger." Evening release. Before bed, light a candle. Write one thing you're proud of, or simply close your eyes and forgive the day. You don't have to do them all. You don't have to do them perfectly. You just need to do something, consistently. Because the soul doesn't need big change. It needs reliability. And in that rhythm, it begins to shine again. If this message fits your current season, comment 5 below and tell us, what small habit do you want to restore or begin? You never know, your gentle rhythm might become someone else's light. And now that you've created a steady rhythm for your day, let's talk about something just as important but often forgotten: how you treat yourself. Not your habits, not your routines, but the way you speak to yourself, especially on the days when things don't go quite right. Coming up next, the kindness habit, why grace heals more than guilt after. 6. Self-kindness, the kindness habit. Let's be honest, dear friend, we're often kind to others, but far too harsh with ourselves. We forgive our children when they forget, we comfort our friends when they mess up, But when we forget a word, spill something, or miss a step, we sigh, we roll our eyes, and we whisper things like, "What's wrong with me? I'm so slow these days. I used to be better than this." But here's a truth we rarely hear. Growing older isn't a weakening, it's a deepening, and you deserve kindness, especially from the voice you hear the most every day, your own. Self-kindness doesn't mean pretending everything's fine. It's not about ignoring your pain. It's about choosing grace instead of guilt, gentleness instead of judgment. Let me tell you about Diane, 77. She used to be sharp, active, always in control. But after a mild stroke, her body slowed. Her memory, too. She struggled, not just with tasks, but with how she saw herself. "I became my own worst critic," she said. "Even when others were kind to me, I wasn't kind to myself." One day, her granddaughter heard her mutter, "Stupid, can't even open a jar." The girl, only 9 years old, looked at her and said, "Grandma, would you ever say that to me?" That moment changed something. Diane realized she'd been fighting two battles, one with her body and one with her own voice. She began practicing something simple. Whenever she caught herself being harsh, she paused, placed a hand over her heart, and said aloud, "It's okay, I'm still learning, I'm still healing, I still matter." And slowly, her days softened. Her energy returned, not because her body changed, but because her inner voice did. Dear friends, self-kindness is not weakness, it is strength in its most elegant form. It means choosing encouragement instead of embarrassment, patience instead of punishment, curiosity instead of criticism. Here are a few ways to practice the kindness habit. Notice your inner voice. Would you speak that way to a close friend? If not, speak softer. Place a hand over your heart. This sends a message to your nervous system. You are safe. You are cared for. Change the story. Instead of "I'm getting old and slow," try "I've lived through so much and I'm still adapting." Forgive yourself every night. Before sleep, whisper, "Today was enough. I was enough. Tomorrow is a new beginning." Kindness is a muscle. The more you use it, the more natural it becomes, not just with others, but with yourself. And when you treat yourself with compassion, your body responds. Your energy rises. Your face softens. Your presence becomes lighter to everyone around you. If this message resonates with you today, comment 6 below and share. What kind phrase do you want to begin saying to yourself? Because the words you speak to yourself are the seeds you plant in your soul. Now that you've begun to speak gently to your own heart, it's time for the most important part of this journey, bringing it all together, walking, eating, thinking, connecting, into a whole life of meaning. You are the story you've been waiting for. Dear friend, if you've made it here, through every step, every quiet reflection, every truth that gently unfolded, then let me say something simple and true. You are already on the right path. Not because you've mastered all 8 habits, but because you chose to care, to listen, to try. And that choice changes everything. So many people believe that aging is about letting go of beauty, letting go of strength, letting go of meaning. But you've discovered something deeper, that aging is the moment you begin to reclaim, not to return to who you once were, but to rise into who you're becoming. Let's look at what you've done. You've realized that walking isn't just exercise, it's daily resilience. Eating is no longer just about survival, it's how you show love to your future self. Your mind is still clear when you invite it to stay curious. Your strength was never gone, it was just waiting to be gently awakened. Connection isn't optional, it's how your soul remembers who it is. Routine doesn't trap you, it frees you. And kindness to yourself, it's not weakness, it's the strongest voice you'll ever carry. And most of all, you've remembered. You are not behind, not too late, not broken, not invisible. You are simply here. And here is exactly where your next chapter begins. If no one has said this to you lately, your life still has value, your voice still matters, your presence is still a gift to this world. Not because of what you can do, but because of who you are when you show up with care, with courage, and with grace. So now, dear friend, take a moment with me. Place your hand over your heart. Feel it beat, not just to survive, but to live with meaning, to feel joy, to connect. Close your eyes and whisper to yourself, "I am still growing. I am still worthy. I am still becoming." Because that's the truth. You are not fading. You are unfolding. Like a timeless book, that becomes more meaningful with every page. If this video made you feel seen, supported, or inspired, please comment 8 below. And tell us, which part of this journey moved you the most? Let your voice become part of someone else's healing, because when we share, we remind each other, we are not alone. And if you feel called to continue this journey, to stay connected, to stay inspired, to stay awake to your own beautiful life, click like, subscribe, and turn on that little bell. Not because we need the numbers, but because you deserve reminders that this path is still open and still yours. This is timeless wisdom, where every minute you give to your health today becomes a gift for your tomorrow. Thank you for being here. You are the story you've been waiting for, and the world still needs your pages. We'll see you in the next chapter.